Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Here is what we are going to create. So, stay with me up to end of this video. First, we take this 3D shape. It is just 3 2D parts. The top layer, left side, and the right side. Let's start. This is the image we are going to use. I adjusted it and then applied layer mask to it. Now it looks flat and I don't want that. So, I started revealing the details I need. And then started masking out unnecessary parts. This gave the image a bit more 3D look. Next, I added this image and added full black layer mask to it. To give the image a nice transition from top surface to sides, I started revealing only a little part of that layer. I added a color balance layer and started balancing the colors and tried to make the surface a bit warmer. Then also added a hue and saturation layer and colorized the image. Next, I started working on the sides. First on left side I added this image. Adjusted it according to the perspective of the side and added a layer mask to it. Then added another image for other side and started working on that. After adjusting both images I enlarged the images to make it cover more area, because I am going to need that. Now all we need is to make colors match. For that I added the same hue and saturation layer to these images which I applied to the top surface. The layer for transition effect was not perfect, so, I masked out some parts which made it look better. I kept readjusting the colors of top surface all the time, then added same colors to whole image. I also tried to make the transition layer a bit brighter. Now was the time to make the image look like it was cut from some bigger piece. So, I started revealing the parts of left side where I wanted and also on the right side. Then I decided to remove right side image and replace it with the one on the left. And here is the result. Much better, I think. I then started adding stone cuts and here is the final result of the 3D looking base. Next I grouped the layers and named them. And put these groups in a single group and named that group base. Now is the time to add skeletons. First, I added this image. And then the most important thing to do is to cut it out from its background, which I did. Nice. Now I tried to find a perfect spot for it. Then I tried to match the colors. After few tries, I thought I need to add shadows and highlights to the top surface, which is exactly what I did. I added an exposure layer, made it darker, then inverted the mask, then started revealing parts I needed. Then used blend if to reveal whites below this exposure layer. For highlights I added another exposure layer and made the top surface brighter, then inverted the mask and started to paint with soft brush with 20% opacity. Here is the result. And yes, I set the blending option of these two exposure layers to luminosity, to preserve the colors. Now let's get back to our dinosaur skull. I added a hue and saturation adjustment layer, then tried to colorize the image and match the colors a bit. Next, I erased the parts of the skull I did not needed by using masking. Next, I started adding shadows under the skull and after some tries, I was happy with the result. I then added another separate and subtle shadow to give it a feel that the skull is sunk beneath the sand. And I did a terrible job. Next, shadows and highlights. Same process of adding 2 exposure layers. One for shadows and other for highlights. Then I started masking out the unnecessary parts of both shadow and highlight layer. Here is the before and after result. I was searching for skeletons and I found this image. I cut out the background and put it over there. Then added colors, shadows, highlights, and here we go. One more skull. Cut the background, put it in the middle where it fits, add coloring, add shadows, then highlights and then shadows below the skull. And here is the result. Now, let's make groups of all images and name them. Alright, what is next? I added this fossil on the left side. I adjusted it using distort option, put it under the hue and saturation layer, then tried to blend it in. Here we go, what do you think? Same thing on the right side but different image. I think it looks a bit better. Now I started adding shadows on both sides. I took some time to make it a bit less terrible. And here is the result which I liked. Next I added this thing around the dinosaur skull to enclose it, don't ask me why. And after a long time of adjusting it, I started adding rope around it. Which looked like this. Then I tried to readjust it and now it looks like this, a bit less terrible. Now I thought it would be nice to add a slight highlight around the edges of the image to give it more 3D-ish look. Here is the result after I adjust the mask and opacity options. Let me know in comments how it looks. Now I grouped the images together and made a copy of it. Then created a smart object from it. And tried to adjust shadows, again. Now was the time to add camera raw filter. Where I adjusted colors, gave it a sharp look, made shadows and highlights to pop more, and then hit OK. Oh wait, my screen recorder always forgets to record the camera raw filter, sorry about that. Here is the end result. After seeing the end result, I saw that the rope is transparent, and does not cast the shadow. So I tried to fix that, and here we go, the final end result. Wait, I think the fossils on side need a little bit of more shadows and highlights, it will make it pop more. I added same old friend, the exposure layer for shadows and highlights, and adjusted them to make the fossils pop more. Alright, now this is the final end result. Let me know in the comments what else did I forgot. Subscribe if you like to watch such content. And feel free to like the video if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, see you in the next video.